Hey, let's learn how to resist authoritarianism by looking back at historical examples. This one's very simple and might seem like slow and it's not really going to do anything, but you need to start somewhere. Read diverse fiction. Yeah, it's really that simple. I think we can all understand the power of fiction helping us resist authoritarian governments just by the impact that the novel 1984 has had, right? It's given us all a language to speak about what governments are doing around the world. But fiction has also been a central part of a lot of resistance movements. So in Vietnam, there was a group called the Self-Reliant Literary Group. In Vietnamese, I believe it's Tu Luc Van Duan. And they, in the early 1900s, really pioneered the idea that the novel, that fiction, that poetry could be a central part of resistance or building nationalist sentiment, in this case in Vietnam, as they were resisting French imperialism. They created their own and they promoted other fictional works by Vietnamese authors that questioned their current reality, but then also envisioned new futures and what it could look like. They also often engaged with feminism too. They made sure to include kind of women's stories as well, which is something we'll talk about later, intersectionality. In the Black civil rights movement against kind of the authoritarianism of Jim Crow, works of fiction were incredibly important for developing a sense of Black pride and this sort of unity and community, but also in showing a different version of Black Americans than most white Americans had been sold by the government. We can go all the way back to like Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe, which made a lot of white people in the North realize that slavery was, bad and that real humans were impacted by it. But I also like to think about a book published in 1924 called There Is Confusion by Jessie Redmond Fawcett. She wrote a novel that kind of traces the experiences of 3 Black Americans living in northern cities during that time period. This book was especially well received by white audiences who were able to see themselves in some of the experiences, the emotions, the feelings of these Black characters. The New York Times reviewer says, quote, "It is well executed, so well, in fact, that no Ku Kluxer could stand it." So read and support diverse authors.